How to import contacts into your TekMatix account. What's up, techies? My name's Sarah, and I'm going to show you how you can properly add contacts into your TekMatix account. So maybe you're migrating from another platform and you want to bring your list of contacts over. Maybe you've got mass lists of students that you need to upload. I know maybe you've got yourself a big corporate contract and you've got a list of students that need to be added to particular courses. Either way, it's likely at some point you're going to need to mass upload information and data for your customer records. So to do this, you're going to log into your account. You're going to click on contacts. And as you can see here in this demo account, I don't have anyone yet. So I'm going to import some pretend contacts over here. Now over on this top bar, you'll see all the different kinds of actions that you can create. For some reason, I've got my filters open at the moment. Let me stop this. So I had a filter on just then. So you can see here, I've got my import contacts option. So I'm going to click on import contacts, and this is where you're going to upload your CSV file. Now this will only work if it's a .csv file. It's not going to work if it's just an Excel sheet or a Word document. It must be .csv. If you've got any trouble doing that, let us know on support@tekmatix.com. And we'll send you a help article to help you out with that. So you're going to press upload file. I've got a list of dummy contacts here that I'm going to upload to this trial account just to show you how this works. So you'll see there's 3 steps. First is to upload your file. Then we're going to map the fields. And then we're going to see if we can add any extra information to these client records. So what you're basically going to be doing here is saying to the system, here's the records from the CSV file. And here are the places or the fields or the data information that it's going to match inside TekMatix. All right, so we're basically saying to the system, in this column, we're going to add to this field. So inside the CSV file, we've got a column called first name. And it's going to say, well, inside TekMatix, what is that information? Well, it's the first name. We have a column called last name in our file. What information is that? It's the last name here. We've got a column called address. That's going to be called address inside the system. So you can see here how it kind of makes sense. County. Now we don't have a field called county, but we probably have a field called, no, we don't actually have county. So I'm not going to bring that over. I'm going to leave that blank. Now, if we wanted to have a county field, we can go into our custom fields, add a new custom field, and that would give us a place whereby we could match that content with some content inside our system. I'm not going to match county. I don't need that information. So state is state, zip code is postal code. Then we've got phone numbers. So again, we'd be deciding, is that a landline or is it a mobile? So we have an exclamation mark, by the way, where there's repeated content. So that exclamation mark means this content is already used somewhere else. And that's because you can see it's also used there. So we're not going to duplicate, and the email is the email. Great. So now we've matched all of our fields. You also have this button here that says don't import data in unmatched columns. If you leave that unticked, it's going to pull it over anyway and just dump it somewhere. But I'm going to tick this box because if I've not matched it, it means I don't need it. It's data that I just don't need to fill up my system with. So I'm going to check that box and press next. Now, it's going to ask us if we want to create a list of contacts from the import. Yes, we do. We do want these people to be added as contacts in this particular place. So it's then going to say to us, do you want to update existing contact records? So if you already have that person existing in your system, it will match the details and it will update that client record already. If you press add new contact records only, it will add that person again. So I would avoid clicking anything other than this first one, because this one will update the existing record and it will create a new record if that client doesn't exist yet. If you press add a new record, everyone will be a new record regardless of whether they exist already or not. If you only click update existing records, it will only update existing records. It won't add anyone new. So you definitely want to always click this one so that you're both adding new accounts if they're not yet there yet, or updating existing ones if they are already there. Then you're going to find existing contacts based on their email. Now, I prefer to do this because some people put fake names. They only put they might spelt their name wrong. So you're telling the system, compare the email address to all the email addresses. If the email address matches, update that contact, because there may be two John Joneses, right? It's going to be their email address that's going to separate those contacts. So I prefer to use email just in case you happen to have two people in your system with the same first name, last name. Don't update empty values. I always turn that on. And that's because if you, for instance, we've not pulled over county, for instance, if someone's record of county was full inside the system already, and then we're updating this record with it being blank, it will actually remove the new update. Does that make sense? So I always say don't update empty values. So that way we're not going to replace a full value with an empty value with this update. Now, tags. This bit is very important. Very, very, very important. What tags do you want to add? So this is where the more tags you put, the more information you put here, the better it's going to be for you to organize people, communicate with people, do marketing with people, separate people, smart list people, everything later on down the line. Please start getting obsessed with tags. It's so important. It's how you segment your list. It's how you do really detailed marketing campaigns. So I like to separate my tags with these little square columns. You do not have to do that. It's just a weird habit that I have. I found that when you've got millions of tags, I just like the way it separates things. So this might be enrolled in the XYZ course, right? So you might type in their name and you're going to press add. So that's going to add it as a tag. Then we can add another tag if we want. Part of, let's do, add tags. Part of the, XYZ client contract. So I don't know, maybe it's a corporate client. You're just going to hit enter. All right. Can I press enter? Yes, I did. It takes a moment, so I go a bit too fast sometimes. So you can just go in and add as many tags as you like here, all right? So that you can later on differentiate people based on who they are, what course they're in, how they're part of your system, and all that kind of stuff. You can also, from here, add them to workflows. So, for instance, if you had actually created, maybe you're adding these people to a particular course, or you're going to mass enroll them to a course, you could have already created a workflow behind the scenes that says when they are uploaded, automatically add them to this particular campaign or this particular workflow, so that they become automatically enrolled in certain courses or automatically receive certain welcome emails, or notifying members of staff that something needs to be done. So this is a really clever way of kind of doing mass actions, like mass enrolling people to programs, or mass sending emails based on them being uploaded. So we're then going to just press submit on this. Upload them here. Your file's being processed. You can click here to view the progress of the upload. Now, this is really quick, guys. This doesn't really take too long. Just note that at weekends, we do often do updates. This might be slow at weekends if we are doing upgrades behind the system. But basically, this will upload pretty fast, and you can then go on over into your contacts area over here. And you can see now, look, already it's uploaded all 51 records. I didn't pause the video at all there. Boom, they are all now in. So these are, by the way, fake people. So I'm not hiding this data because this is completely made up list of contacts with totally fake information. So that is how you upload your contacts. Now, if these people had different tags, we can add different tags to different people. We can actually add them to certain smart lists as well. Now, I will do a separate video on smart lists later on. But for now, we'll just let you know that from this point onwards, you can actually do mass actions by clicking this top button and selecting all records. So this will show you now all 51 records have been selected. And this is where you can add them to campaigns or workflows. You can add them to pipeline stages. You can send them SMSs or emails. You can add more tags, remove certain tags, delete those contacts, send them a request for a review from you or a testimonial. There's lots of different other mass features that you can then do with those contacts at that particular point that they become uploaded. The other thing you can do just in terms of contacts here is I can click on this particular person here and I can view all of their communication information. I can add them to workflows. I can add them to pipelines. I can enroll them in courses directly from here manually if I haven't created a workflow. I can create tasks by pressing task, add new. I know, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to make up an example for now. Assign it to a particular team member. That could be myself, by the way. You can assign it to yourself if you put yourself as a contact in your system. And you can choose your due date there by selecting your due date. You can add notes to this particular customer. So, you know, spoke to her yesterday and we are going to do an action plan by X date, right? So you can put in whatever notes you want inside this client's record, and that will show up there all the time. So if you have staff that are working with you, alternatively, you can, you know, book in an appointment with this person. If you've created appointments inside your system in your TekMatix account, you can send appointments directly through to individuals here as well. You can also assign people to particular team members. So if I had all of my team members listed in here, which you do in your main settings, by the way, you know, you can assign team members to particular individuals so that each individual kind of is assigned a particular rep from your organization, which is very cool. So there you go. That is just a brief bit of information on contacts, but particularly how to mass upload or import contact lists. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, contact us on support@tekmatix.com. Otherwise, happy tacking.